In the heart of Silicon Valley, one name stands out as a symbol of disruption and innovation: Brian Chesky. Born on August 29, 1981, in Niskayuna, New York, Chesky grew up with an entrepreneurial spirit and a passion for design. As a child, he had a knack for creating things, from toys to intricate models. But it wasn't until he enrolled at the Rhode Island School of Design that he began to realize how his creative instincts could change the world. Chesky's journey into the world of tech began after he graduated in 2004, when he moved to San Francisco with his co-founder, Joe Gebbia. Together, they would lay the foundation for what would become Airbnb, one of the most revolutionary companies in the history of the travel industry, but their path to success wasn't easy. In fact, it started with a simple yet bold idea. They rented out air mattresses in their apartment to help cover their rent during a busy conference in the city. It was an idea born out of necessity, but it soon evolved into something far larger. At first, the concept seemed outlandish. Who would want to stay in a stranger's home? But Chesky and Gebbia believed in the potential of this idea of offering people unique, authentic travel experiences, of connecting hosts with guests in a way traditional hotels never could. It was a challenge to get the concept off the ground. They faced financial struggles, skepticism from investors, and the constant battle of convincing people to trust a service that was completely new and unfamiliar. But Chesky's vision and determination never wavered. In 2008, the trio was joined by Nathan Blecherczyk, who helped develop the platform's technical infrastructure, and Airbnb was born. The company initially struggled to gain traction, but a combination of creativity, relentless marketing, and a commitment to providing customers with unparalleled experiences slowly started to pay off. Airbnb's model, empowering ordinary people to open their homes to strangers, resonated with people all over the world. The idea of belonging anywhere became the core of Airbnb's ethos, and the company quickly became a global sensation. Chesky, as the CEO, was no stranger to the challenges of leadership. From navigating regulatory battles to handling rapid growth, he always kept the company focused on its mission: to create a world where anyone could find a place to stay and feel at home, no matter where they were. What started as a small idea to solve a personal financial problem grew into a multi-billion-dollar company that redefined the way we think about travel, hospitality, and community. But Brian Chesky's story isn't just about business success, it's about vision, resilience, and the belief that one small idea can change the world. His journey has been filled with setbacks, surprises, and moments of doubt, but through it all, his unwavering belief in the power of human connection has guided him. Today, Airbnb is a household name, and Chesky's impact on the world of travel and entrepreneurship is undeniable. Brian Chesky was born on August 29, 1981, in Niskayuna, New York, to a middle-class family. His father, a social worker, and his mother, an artist, provided him with a nurturing environment where creativity and hard work were valued. From a young age, Brian showed a deep interest in design and art, which would shape his future career. He attended the Rhode Island School of Design, RISD, one of the country's top design schools, where he would meet his future co-founder, Joe Gebbia. Chesky, a product design major, was drawn to the idea of solving problems through design. At RISD, he began to hone his skills in product and industrial design. But he didn't just want to create for the sake of creating. He wanted to design in a way that would have a real impact. His creativity was paired with a natural entrepreneurial instinct, which led him to explore how design could merge with business in innovative ways. After graduating in 2004, Chesky moved to San Francisco with Joe Gebbia. The two were struggling to make ends meet, with no clear direction in sight. But instead of giving up, they decided to take a bold risk, an idea born out of necessity. San Francisco was hosting a major design conference, and hotels were fully booked. To cover their rent, Chesky and Jebbia decided to rent out air mattresses in their living room to conference attendees. They named it Air Bed and Breakfast, and the idea was simple: offer a place to stay for those who couldn't find a hotel. This small experiment would become the seed for what would eventually be known as Airbnb. They soon realized that their idea could do more than just solve a financial problem. It could change the way people traveled. The two pitched their idea to friends and family, but there was skepticism. No one wanted to stay in a stranger's home. Despite the doubt, they pressed on. They took out a loan, bought a few air mattresses, and launched a simple website that would allow anyone to rent out a room in their home. It was a tough start. They faced a series of failures, from getting rejected by investors to dealing with the technical glitches of the platform. But they were determined. In 2008, the trio Chesky, Jebbia, and their third co-founder, Nathan Blecherczyk, who came on board to help with the technology, officially founded Airbnb. They struggled in those early days, even resorting to selling limited edition cereal boxes in order to fund their startup. They created Obama O's and Cap McCain's during the 2008 U.S. presidential election, raising a small but crucial sum of money to keep the company alive. Despite these hurdles, Chesky's leadership, combined with his co-founder's passion, began to build momentum. Their breakthrough moment came in 2009, when they were accepted into the Y Combinator Startup Accelerator. This gave them not only credibility, but also the resources to refine their platform and scale it. From there, Airbnb's growth skyrocketed. What began as a small idea for renting air mattresses turned into a global platform that allowed anyone to list, discover, and book accommodations anywhere in the world. Airbnb's success was based on Chesky's commitment to user experience, design, and trust, key components that set it apart from traditional hospitality. Chesky's philosophy was simple yet profound. Airbnb wasn't just about renting homes. It was about creating a sense of belonging. From the beginning, he wanted to create a platform where people felt like they were more than just customers, they were part of a global community. He promoted the idea that Airbnb could offer not just a place to stay, but a place to connect, to experience different cultures, and to build lasting memories. By 2011, Airbnb was already a household name. But Chesky and his team were just getting started. They continued to innovate, introducing new features like the Airbnb mobile app, which allowed users to book on the go, and Airbnb experiences, which allowed travelers to book unique, local activities hosted by locals. This shift from just providing accommodations to offering unique, authentic experiences changed the nature of the travel industry. Despite the success, Chesky faced several challenges. Airbnb's rapid growth put the company under intense scrutiny, with numerous legal battles and regulatory challenges from cities around the world. Critics argued that Airbnb was driving up rental prices and contributing to housing shortages in some areas. However, Chesky remained firm in his belief that Airbnb wasn't just a business, it was a force for positive change in the world, fostering human connection and cultural exchange. He worked tirelessly to create partnerships with local governments and communities to address these issues and ensure the platform remained sustainable. Through his leadership, Airbnb continued to expand globally. By 2017, Airbnb had reached over 100 million users, and the platform was available in more than 190 countries. The company was valued at over $30 billion, making Chesky one of the youngest billionaires in the world. But for Chesky, the mission was always more important than the financial rewards. He was determined to build a company that had a lasting impact not just on the travel industry, but on how people viewed the concept of home. In 2020, as the world faced the COVID-19 pandemic, Airbnb faced its most significant challenge yet. Travel came to a halt, and the company had to lay off 25% of its workforce. However, Chesky's resilience and ability to adapt were on full display as he pivoted the company's focus to domestic and local travel, creating new ways for people to travel safely during the pandemic. Under his leadership, Airbnb survived the crisis and quickly rebounded, showing once again the strength of his vision. Today, Brian Chesky is more than just the CEO of Airbnb. He's a symbol of innovation, resilience, and the power of creativity. His story is one of taking risks, overcoming adversity, and believing in the power of human connection. Chesky didn't just create a company, he helped create a movement, one that changed how we think about travel, hospitality, and community. The story of Airbnb is not just the tale of a company, it's the story of a vision that transformed the way we travel, connect, and experience the world. At the heart of this revolution is Brian Chesky, whose journey from a struggling entrepreneur to the CEO of one of the most disruptive companies in history has reshaped the entire hospitality industry. It all began in 2007. Brian Chesky and his co-founder, Joe Gebbia, were living in a cramped San Francisco apartment, struggling to pay rent. With the city hosting a major design conference, they noticed a shortage of hotel rooms. Seeing an opportunity, they decided to rent out air mattresses in their living room to conference attendees. They called it Air Bed and Breakfast, offering more than just a place to sleep. They promised an experience that was personal, affordable, and unique. What seemed like a short-term solution for a financial problem quickly turned into something much larger. The success of their first experiment was enough to convince them that this idea could go beyond renting air mattresses. They realized that there was a gap in the hospitality market, a space for people to share their homes and offer travelers something different from traditional hotels. In 2008, the duo was joined by Nathan Blecherczyk, a former roommate and engineer who helped build the technical infrastructure for the platform. Together, the trio launched Airbnb, a website designed to let anyone list a room, apartment, or home for rent. They faced skepticism and doubt from both investors and the public. After all, the idea of letting strangers stay in your home was unconventional, and the concept of peer-to-peer lodging was an unknown entity. The road to success was rocky, especially in those early days. Airbnb had no money, no users, and no real backing. To fund their startup, they resorted to selling limited edition cereal boxes during the 2008 presidential election. They released special cereals called Obama O's and Cat McCain's to generate revenue, demonstrating their creative approach to solving financial problems. Despite these efforts, it wasn't until they joined the Y Combinator Accelerator in 2009 that Airbnb began to gain serious momentum. Y Combinator was the breakthrough Airbnb desperately needed. With the guidance and funding they received, they refined their website, and word started to spread. Slowly, people began to see the value in the idea of staying in a stranger's home. What started as a niche market soon began to grow, and more hosts began offering their homes for short-term rental. By 2011, Airbnb was a household name, and it was becoming evident that the company had created something revolutionary. The company's ability to leverage technology to connect hosts with travelers was a game changer. Unlike traditional hotels, Airbnb provided unique, personalized experiences. People could now stay in homes, apartments, or even castles, places that reflected the culture and character of the city or region they were visiting. The company was not just selling rooms, it was selling authentic travel experiences that hotels could never replicate. One of the company's most pivotal moves was the launch of Airbnb Experiences in 2016. With this new initiative, Airbnb expanded beyond just accommodations to offer travelers activities curated by local hosts. Whether it was a cooking class in a Parisian kitchen or a surfing lesson in Hawaii, Airbnb Experiences allowed guests to truly immerse themselves in the local culture, making their trips more meaningful and personal. But Airbnb's rise wasn't without challenges. Cities around the world, concerned about the impact Airbnb was having on local housing markets, began to impose regulations on short-term rentals. Governments and hotel industries were vocal in their opposition, accusing the company of driving up rental prices and contributing to housing shortages. However, despite these challenges, Chesky and his team remained focused on the bigger picture, building a platform where people could feel like they belonged anywhere in the world. Chesky's leadership during these regulatory battles was crucial. He believed that Airbnb was not just a business, it was a movement. The company wasn't just about accommodations. It was about fostering global human connection, creating opportunities for people to interact with cultures and communities they may never have encountered before. Chesky's personal commitment to the values of belonging, trust, and community were woven into the DNA of Airbnb, even as the company faced resistance from powerful forces. The company's ability to scale quickly was nothing short of impressive. By 2015, Airbnb had expanded to over 190 countries with millions of listings available worldwide. By offering travelers a chance to book unique, personalized accommodations in places they may have never considered, Airbnb created an entirely new way to experience travel. It was no longer just about visiting a destination, it was about living in it, even if only for a few days. With its rapid growth came the pressure to continue innovating. In 2017, Airbnb launched Airbnb Plus, a collection of high-quality homes that met a set of rigorous standards, ensuring travelers had access to consistently great experiences. This helped address concerns about quality and reliability, which had sometimes been a barrier to trust among new users, but Chesky didn't stop there. His vision for the future extended beyond just accommodations. He wanted Airbnb to redefine what it meant to belong anywhere in the world. Despite the success and milestones, Airbnb faced one of its biggest challenges in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic. With global travel at a standstill, the company was forced to rethink its approach. In response, Chesky and his team pivoted quickly, focusing on local and domestic travel while ensuring that hosts and guests could travel safely. This adaptability allowed Airbnb to weather the storm and rebound quickly once the world started to recover. By the time Airbnb went public in December 2020, it was clear that the company had not just survived, it had thrived. With a market valuation that soared to over $100 billion, Airbnb's success wasn't just about profitability. It was about the cultural impact it had made. The company had changed the way people thought about travel, home sharing, and hospitality. Today, Airbnb is a symbol of innovation in the global travel industry. From its humble beginnings as a way to rent out air mattresses to becoming a global leader in alternative accommodations, Airbnb's rise is a testament to the power of an idea, persistence, and the belief that when you trust people to share their space, you're not just offering a room, you're offering a chance to belong. Brian Chesky's impact goes far beyond the creation of Airbnb. He has fundamentally reshaped industries, economies, and even the way we think about home, travel, and human connection. Through his vision, Chesky didn't just build a billion-dollar company. He created a movement that has altered the global landscape in ways that few could have predicted. From the very beginning, his approach was about more than just making money. It was about creating a platform that brings people together. Before Airbnb, the concept of home sharing was mostly seen as an afterthought, something that existed in small, niche markets. But Chesky's genius was in seeing the potential for something bigger. By designing a platform that enabled ordinary people to open their doors to strangers, he revolutionized the travel industry. Airbnb didn't just disrupt hotels, it redefined what hospitality could mean. Instead of staying in a faceless, impersonal hotel room, travelers could now stay in someone's home, experiencing the city through the eyes of a local. This fundamental shift allowed people to feel more connected to the places they visited and the people they met. Chesky's belief in the power of community was a key driver behind Airbnb's success. From the outset, he wanted Airbnb to be more than just a marketplace for accommodations. He wanted it to be a place where people could belong. The idea of belonging anywhere became the company's mission, shaping everything from product design to marketing campaigns. This idea wasn't just a slogan, it was a reflection of Chesky's core belief that travel should be about experiences and human connections, not just places to sleep. Under Chesky's leadership, Airbnb expanded rapidly, touching nearly every corner of the globe. By 2015, Airbnb had listings in more than 190 countries, with millions of hosts offering homes, apartments, and even unique spaces like tree houses or castles. This vast expansion didn't just create a global business. It fostered an entirely new economy of micro-entrepreneurs. Double quotes for many people, hosting on Airbnb became a way to make a living, often transforming entire communities and providing additional income to families who might have otherwise struggled. But Chesky's impact wasn't limited to the business world. Airbnb became a symbol of the sharing economy, a model where people could exchange goods and services not through traditional companies but through personal relationships. This model was more democratic, more personal, and more flexible, and it resonated with people all over the world. Chesky helped spearhead a shift in consumer behavior that prioritized experiences and trust over ownership, something that has influenced everything from transportation with companies like Uber to fashion, food, and beyond. Airbnb also had a profound effect on how we view the concept of home. For many travelers, the idea of staying with a local host in their home was a deeply human experience. It was about more than just the physical space, it was about creating moments, memories, and connections with people from diverse cultures. Chesky himself often spoke about how Airbnb wasn't just about renting out a place to stay, it was about connecting with someone in a way that made you feel at home no matter where you were in the world. This reimagining of home, hospitality, and travel has influenced millions of people, and it has helped fuel the growing desire for authentic, meaningful experiences. On a deeper level, Chesky's impact lies in his commitment to trust, safety, and community. From the very beginning, he emphasized building a platform that both hosts and guests could feel confident in. Airbnb introduced ratings, reviews, and a robust review system that helped establish trust between strangers. Chesky understood that trust was the backbone of the entire business, and he worked relentlessly to create systems that protected both hosts and guests from harm. This focus on trust and safety helped elevate Airbnb from just another tech startup to a widely respected global brand. Chesky also spearheaded initiatives to make Airbnb more inclusive. Airbnb's platform was open to all types of people, regardless of nationality, gender, or background. The company actively worked to combat discrimination, ensuring that hosts and guests treated each other with respect and fairness. Chesky's dedication to inclusion and fairness reflected his broader philosophy that technology should serve to bring people closer, not divide them. During Airbnb's early years, Chesky faced significant challenges. Fundraising was difficult, investors were skeptical, and the company had to battle the status quo of the hotel industry. But instead of backing down, Chesky's resilience became part of his identity. His ability to maintain focus on Airbnb's vision, even in the face of intense criticism, played a key role in the company's eventual success. In particular, his decision to turn down a $3 billion buyout offer from Facebook in 2013 was a defining moment. It was a gamble, but it was one that paid off, and it showed the world that Chesky was committed to building something much larger than just a business. It was about creating an institution that could stand the test of time. Chesky's leadership also helped Airbnb survive some of its toughest moments. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, the travel industry ground to a halt. Airbnb was hit hard, but Chesky quickly pivoted, focusing on domestic travel, cleaning protocols, and providing flexible cancellation policies to accommodate a world in crisis. His decisive actions during the pandemic ensured that Airbnb didn't just survive the global shutdown, it thrived. The company emerged from the crisis more agile, with a renewed focus on safety and community. But Brian Chesky's impact isn't just about Airbnb. He has become a global thought leader on topics ranging from entrepreneurship to technology and social change. His focus on the human side of business has inspired countless entrepreneurs to rethink how they approach their customers, their teams, and their products. He often speaks about how the best businesses are those that solve real human problems, and he has lived this philosophy through Airbnb. As an entrepreneur, Chesky also advocates for a culture of experimentation and resilience. His journey from struggling designer to billionaire CEO was marked by setbacks and failures, but each obstacle only fueled his resolve. His story has become a beacon for entrepreneurs around the world, showing that innovation is not just about having a great idea, but about having the perseverance to bring it to life and stay true to your vision. Ultimately, Chesky's legacy will be remembered for the ways in which he redefined industries, connected people, and created a platform that empowered individuals on a global scale. Today, Airbnb remains one of the most influential companies in the world, and Chesky continues to be a driving force behind the future of travel, technology, and community. As the years passed, Brian Chesky's vision for Airbnb evolved, but his core belief remained unchanged, that travel should be about more than just booking a place to stay. It should be about creating human connections. He didn't just build a company, he built a platform for people to experience a deeper sense of belonging, regardless of where they came from or where they were going. Through his leadership, Airbnb became a symbol of the sharing economy, and Chesky himself became one of the defining entrepreneurs of his generation. In many ways, Chesky's story reflects the power of perseverance. From his early days of struggling to pay rent, to selling limited edition cereal boxes to fund the startup, to facing constant skepticism from investors, the journey was anything but easy. But through every challenge, Chesky's belief in Airbnb's potential never wavered. His unwavering commitment to design, community, and trust became the foundation for Airbnb's success and its transformation into a global powerhouse. Despite the immense growth and financial success, Chesky never lost sight of the human element that powered Airbnb. His focus on providing people with authentic travel experiences, a sense of belonging, and access to local culture resonated deeply with millions of users around the world. In this way, Brian Chesky didn't just disrupt an industry, he redefined it. His company introduced the world to a new way of thinking about hospitality, where personal connections and unique experiences took precedence over traditional accommodations. Even in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, which brought the global travel industry to a standstill, Chesky's leadership proved to be pivotal. He quickly pivoted Airbnb's business model to adapt to a world that was rapidly changing, prioritizing safety, flexibility, and local travel. His resilience and ability to steer the company through one of the most challenging times in its history showcased his adaptability and vision. As Airbnb continues to grow, so does Chesky's influence. He remains focused on building a business that not only meets the needs of the travel industry, but also prioritizes the values of empathy, trust, and community. He has made it clear that Airbnb's purpose goes beyond profits. It's about enriching lives and creating connections between people from all walks of life. Brian Chesky's legacy is already secured not just in the billions of dollars Airbnb has generated, but in the millions of personal stories shared between hosts and guests, in the communities that have thrived thanks to the sharing economy, and in the ways he has challenged and redefined what business can achieve in the 21st century. Through Airbnb, Chesky has not only disrupted an industry, he's changed the way we look at home, travel, and what it truly means to belong. As the company continues to evolve, so does the vision of its founder. Brian Chesky's journey is far from over. With a passion for creativity, a belief in the power of human connection, and a drive to challenge the status quo, he remains at the forefront of the next wave of innovation in the travel industry. And for millions of people around the world, Airbnb is not just a service, it's a reminder that no matter where we are, we all have the ability to make someone feel at home.